So we're talking about grading, and one of the things is, do we need to grade? So here's another idea, building an alternative way to succeed for people who don't grade well. And this is the idea is basically to treat school as if you are in a business or company. So your learning ground, your empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. This is a system where you are going to take all the steps to bring something to market, to start a nonprofit, to build a political movement, or to change the world. And you're actually doing that in school in a way that actually causes you to be able to do the steps. So first off, this is a build the student handbook. You actually there's a whole marketing group that they do this online. So you come up with a bunch of ideas for your clients, your possible clients, and then you go forward and say, okay, what am I going to actually work on? What are the ideas I have? How am I going to go forward with this? So you put the client insights in there, you think about what they need, how do they need it done? What is the thing that you're going to do for them? You meet them, you talk to them, learn about their interests, what they're looking for in something. Then you define what the problem is. How are they going to figure out what is their problem? How do you find what they need from you? Then you think about your point of view, what you have to bring to the party. It's never your weaknesses are actually your strengths. You need to remember that because what you don't do well, and you don't do well, you're going to work at, make sure you get better at it. The things you think you're good at, you're probably not going to get much better at, so those are actually your strengths can kind of become a weakness over time because people who have weaknesses and address them, they become strengths. All right. So you ideate. You basically think about what's going to help this person. Put all your ideas down. This is the idea of brainstorming, and you're coming up with something that's going to help that person. Then you come up with your solution. You say this is the solution to the problem. And usually in school, that's as far as you go. But in real life, that's not the end of the story. So you prototype it. You basically say, okay, this is what we think our solution is. How do we make a prototype? You go through, you storyboard every piece of the prototype. You say, okay, this is how this is going to work. This is where this is going to work. This is what they're going to have. And then you paste your storyboard or storyboard here. Then you get feedback on your prototype. You say, okay, this is what was working. This is what didn't work. This is what we think works well. All of those things. So you get feedback backwards. Then you test it. You go through and you make improvements on your prototype. Step one, step two, step three. You're giving that picture out. You're giving that idea out, having people come back and give you feedback. Then you paste your revised storyboard or photo prototype there. Then it's time to complete the challenge. Basically, you go forward and you give them your best presentation on this idea, this concept, what is happening. And that would be written up as a way of describing what you accomplished in school. Unfortunately, colleges and businesses and everybody just wants a letter grade. What is your GPA? That's what they want. So even though this would be much more effective at creating at showing your learning, it's not what most people want. However, it is what we're trying to get at when you do your end of the year capstone project. This ideally would be what the capstones would be a workable project that you could then bring forward. They tend to be your senior year tends to be a hassle and you're trying to put this project together. You don't really understand what it is, but ideally it would be a workable prototype for your own business model going into the world. So this is an ideal. It's not something that we know how to accomplish yet, but it's something to think about going forward. Thanks for listening.